Five Nights at Freddy's and GMOD are nothing short of inseparable. The relationship goes back to 11 years, and they have much history with each other, with add-ons, maps, NPCs, and more being created for add-ons in Gary's mod. As much as I want to, I'm not here to talk about their relationship today. If you really want a video like that, go check out this video made by Richter over time. It's a really in-depth video and I love it a lot. With that being said, I am here to talk about the map part of FNAF and GMOD. Among the various and many FNAF GMOD maps, there is one that has always been kind of historical or really special to me and many other people. I'm of course talking about the FNAF Events map made by Keithy. Upon loading in, you'll be greeted with the main office from FNAF 2. There's a functional camera system just like there is in the game, which shows you the whole layout of the entire map. I mean, this office has everything. It has working lights in the hallway, it even has vents you can go through, which will lead you to the main party rooms. This map carries on an old tradition that old FNAF maps tend to have. On the walls and random places, you'll see the various names and icons of YouTubers that have played the maps. There's a lot of them here, so I'm not going to read them off, but I highly encourage you to boot up this map for yourself and see if you recognize any of these faces. Exiting the main hallway, you can see the parts and service room and the main hallway which leads to the dining area. The bathrooms are largely the same and they're not even labeled. It would be hard to tell which is which. Entering the parts and service room, you can see the icons of various of the animatronics with ominous glowing red buttons ahead of them. These will be important later, so we'll just come back to them. When you enter the other section of the room, you can see a presumably broken endoskeleton, and you can also see an arcade with some blur on it. It's really not important, it's just some guy telling Frank to stop making arcades that are inappropriate for children. Entering this area down the main hall, we can see the dining room, which, honestly, we don't get to see much of this in the actual FNAF 2 game, so the fact that this creator made this whole area and it actually turned out to be canon is kind of insane. On the stage, we can see Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, and Toy Chica. They use the i6 models. If you head over here, there's an exit which doesn't actually lead to anything, but we'll come back to it later. Over here we have a prize counter, and we also have the box where the marionette is. If we go over to Kid's Cove, we can see Mangle, which is kind of in an awkward position where she's clipping to the ground. You can't get too close to her because there's some invisible wall, I guess so you can't mess with the events. You're probably wondering as to why exactly I'm showing this map to you. I mean, come on, it's no doubt that you've seen it before if you've had anything to do with the GMOD FNAF. It's been in countless SFMs, movies, etc. Well, I'm showing this map to you because what if I told you this map actually got updated? But not by the original creator, by somebody else. Well, allow me to introduce you to Tasman Rex. Tasman Rex is a very awesome GMOD add-on creator that makes awesome Five Nights at Freddy's add-ons. Taz makes a variety of FNAF add-ons, like modern ones, going all the way to nostalgic-based ones. What do I mean by this? Well, most of their add-ons utilize old aspects from GMOD FNAF. They use i6 models, Splinks models, and just generally old assets from GMOD FNAF. This is really interesting, because, well, why would anybody want to use these old and outdated models instead of the far more accurate ones we have today? Well, I might have an explanation for this, along with some personal thoughts of mine. You see, Five Nights at Freddy's originally released in 2014. This was a key year, as 2014 was really coming down to the end of the 2010s internet era, and back in 2014, Scott never released official models for the FNAF games, so the community just had to make their own models, and, well, i6 models were the result. They were the very first, and they carried FNAF for a while until Everything Animations released his models, and then from then on it started to get more accurate, and I would say it lost a bit of its soul. So I think these old i6 models are still being used today for really the key factor is nostalgia. These models come from the 2010s, which is a time that I'm pretty sure everybody is nostalgic for. And they serve as a really nice reminder of the good old niche days of Five Nights at Freddy's. Alright, let's bring it back. I admit, I did get a bit sidetracked with talking about the i6 models. However, it's time to talk about the actual topic, this map. Loading into the map, we can see the main office. Everything remains largely the same. The only differences I could find were these two little file cabinets. Like the original map, this one also has lists of YouTubers that have played it. If you enter Parts and Service, then finally we can see the withered animatronics. We can see them in all of their glory after so many years of waiting to see them. There's also a secret vent, and if you no-clip into it, then you can find a pretty cool Easter egg. This room has the infamous JJ. It also has Bonnet, or I don't even know what this is. Just know that it's a pink version of Toy Bonnie, so we're gonna call it Bonnet. Remember earlier how I talked about the exit area? Well, now we have an exit area. It's a pretty bare bones room, but it's still cool to have. There's one last change in this map. This map is a cool Golden Freddy Easter egg. If you break this event next to Kids Cove, then you can see Golden Freddy sitting on the kitchen table. Why is he doing that? Is he stupid? This is actually a reference to GM_Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. In the same vent area, you can find Golden Freddy sitting on yet another kitchen table. What is it with this guy? He must really be stupid. Now that I've showed you that map, I think it's time to show you the gameplay mechanics and how the animatronics actually work. For this, I'll be going into the map to demonstrate for you. Well, let's go see. Loading into the map, we can see an orange admin room. These are usually in every single Five Nights at Freddy's map that comes with events. Along with that, there's credits on the back of the wall. Make sure you read these as it has very important names. These event maps also come with the manual animatronic movement button. It disables the actual map's events and lets you move the animatronics. Speaking of the events, they can be activated right here. We have the toys, the misfits, and the wizards. Also, these maps come with a little phone call you can listen to let you know how the night plays out. I'll play them right now.
Hello and welcome to the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 GMOD map. This version of the map obviously includes events, which can be activated by going to the Parts and Service room connected to the main hallway. Once you switch on the buttons in there, the light will turn green, which lets you know that the animatronics are now active. Of course, the old animatronics are not yet available, but will become available once they are ready and I've implemented them into the map. If the light above an animatronic button is yellow, that means it is being controlled by someone in the admin room. Once you enable the animatronics, you have about 30 seconds to get back to the office before they start moving. Everything else should be pretty straightforward, because, you know, it works pretty much the same as Five Nights at Freddy's. There is one exception though, as the marionette will act a little bit differently, but I'll let you figure that out. Have fun.
FNAF 2 improved. FNAF 2 improved is an enhanced version of Kathy's FNAF 2 events map, expanding it with missing features from the original Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and introducing new content. What's new, you may ask? Well, here you go. Withered animatronics. The long-awaited wizards are finally here. Activate them using the button in the admin room. Look for the image above it. The other characters have also been moved there for easier control. Expanded areas. Content for the non-events version has been added, including the entrance area, and the previously unopened space has been turned into an actual kitchen. The puppet now works like in FNAF 2. You'll need to wind up the music box using the button on the office desk where you can also see the progress meter. Toy animatronics. These work mostly the same but with minor improvements. They now feature office encounters instead of just stopping outside, so you'll know when they're about to attack. As for Mangle, when she enters your office, just do what you would do with all the other toy animatronics. Withered Foxy is a bit different from the other wizards. When Foxy appears in the hallway, turn your light on, don't flicker it, and wait for him to leave. Golden Freddy has also been added with some secrets. That's all for now. More updates and features are planned for future versions. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if you just skipped that part. Those were really long and boring, and I didn't even listen to them. Anyway, let's go turn on the animatronics and check out the map! When you load into the map with the vents on, nothing really changes except, well, people are gonna come and try and kill you soon, so that's awesome. Now, the camera system does work, but I would not say it's reliable at all because it's really buggy and sometimes you'll just get stuck in a random camera. As you can see, I pathetically tried to crouch over the desk to activate the camera. Typically, the first one to really try and attack you is Foxy. Now, to get rid of him, it actually says this in the phone call, but I didn't listen, so I just kept dying. You don't flash the light, you actually have to hold it down. Kind of weird. If you flash it, you just end up dying like I did. As you can see, the toy animatronics will appear inside the hallway. Also, animatronics will use the vents. This isn't anything new. They've done this since the first version of the map, but I thought it was still something to add. Also, this kind of scared me because I didn't notice it, but Mangle will appear on top of the ceiling like she does. And here's the core mechanic of the map. You actually have to hide inside of a back office door to get rid of the animatronics, which I really wish this wasn't the case because I gotta get footage for this, and it was really hard to actually film the animatronics' cool QuickTime events while looking at them from an office door. This map also does include Easter eggs such as Golden Freddy. He appears in your office, and to get rid of him, you have to climb inside of the door. Now, I know it sounds like I'm complaining about this feature, which I am, but I don't blame Rex or Keithy for this because coding an actual mask mechanic would probably be really difficult in the Source engine, so props to them for even getting anything to work. Oh, the puppet. Here's how the puppet works. That white bar on the right side of the desk will occasionally go down, and to fill it, you have to press the wind button if that wasn't obvious enough. And that prevents the puppet from killing you. So it'll actually go on the screen like they do in FNAF 2. And I decided to film this Withered Freddy one because, well, Withered Freddy's my favorite, and I just thought this looked pretty cool. Also, I didn't know how Golden Freddy actually works in FNAF 2, but I found out the hard way right here. This was kind of funny. This is the part where I found out how Foxy works after tripping over a desk. You just have to leave the light on. Yeah, you don't have to flash it. Also, I got to see Withered Freddy appear in the hallway. Once again, Withered Freddy is my favorite, and I especially love this model that they use here, so I decided to take a quick picture of him. I got to get some footage of Bonnie's QuickTime event in the office. This is cool because, well, you actually don't have to close the door. You can just leave it open and stay inside the office and look out to your heart's desire. Now, a little bug I found while playing this map. Toy Freddy and Classic Freddy actually stay there for a lot longer than they're supposed to in FNAF 2. Especially Toy Freddy, though. I think he's broken or something because he really just stays there. And if you try and walk into him, you don't get killed like you do for the other animatronics. You just kind of phase into him. So, yeah. Here's footage of Withered Chica's QuickTime event. Now, I've always found Withered Chica the scariest, and this model she's using definitely doesn't help. And here's Withered Freddy's QuickTime event. I love how his eyes are crossed just like they are in his actual screen in FNAF 2. Nice detail, but I love it. And that's the map, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 map, recreated in GMOD and updated after 11 years. I know I would talk about this map more, but it's basically just a GMOD FNAF recreation of FNAF 2. And if you know how FNAF 2 works, or its gameplay mechanics works, then you'll know what this map is about. So, once again, I highly encourage everybody to, right now, go check out the map in the Steam Workshop. It's in the link in the description, and it is very cool. Now, this is going to be a bit of a thank you section, so it's kind of boring. If you want to skip it, then you can. This is the end of the video, for you. Alright, so this is going to be a bit of nerd talk, maybe a bit boring, but I just really wanted to thank Rex for making such an awesome updated map, and also special thanks to Keithy and really anybody on this board. FNAF 2 Improved was created by Tasman Rex, with special thanks to B Animations, Trix57, Confederate Joe, Rafa X54, Yoke, Smoke the Bear, and I6NAS. Thank you, your help is heavily appreciated. Ever since I watched my brother play this map as a kid in my grandma's basement on our old computer that could somehow run Gmod perfectly, I always wanted to see the Wizards in action, and I was sad when they just never got added in, never got updated or anything. But Tasman Rex has finally made that possible, and now I can enjoy the Wizards and play this map for hours on end as I like to, which is really awesome. So thank you, Tasman, for making such an awesome map, and thank you for making such awesome Gary's Mod add-ons. I hope to see more of your works in the future, and I hope that you see this message because it's made for you. Also, thanks to Keithy for making this map in the first place and making these events possible. Very nice. And then, of course, thank you, Scott Cawthon, for, making everything. I'm not sure how many people are going to see this video, but if you see this video, I want to also thank you for watching this video. Your support means a lot, and you will see more of me and videos like this in the future. So anyway, I've been Hyperactive Studios, and I will see you all next time. That was really corny.
Nine out of 10 soldier pass agree. You gotta see Yakuko Chuichi. From the mark to the reach to the P to the weak. Take it from me, MC. You won't believe your eyes, you'll go insane. I mean, what's up with that plastic brain? You're an idiot if you disagree. You gotta see Yakuko Chuichi. Be faster.
Everyone knows I'm gonna get faster.
Be faster.
Everyone else knows I'm getting faster.
Be faster.
You don't have to know I'm faster.
Be faster.
Everyone knows I'm getting faster.
9 out of 10 soldier pass agree. You gotta see Hakugo Chuichi. You're an idiot if you disagree. Just take it from MC. You won't believe your eyes, you'll go insane. I mean, what's up with that plastic plane? From the mark to the reach to the P to the win. You gotta see Hakugo Chuichi.